When speaking about the past, do you use did or have done? Drove, have driven. Spoke, have spoken. Paid or have paid. Knowing when to use which form is one of the most challenging things to get your head around in English. That's why today we're going to look at the why, the when to use each form. I'm Rob from 4 Words. Let's go.
4 Words.
First, I want to say that this really is a question of grammar. But here at 4 Words, we don't like to talk about grammar because we believe that it's unrealistic to recall grammar rules and grammar terminology when you're actively thinking or speaking in your second language. So, instead of saying past simple or present perfect, grammar terminology, we're going to use did and have done. Okay, now these can be other verbs as well, but when I refer to the different forms, I will say did and have done. It just simplifies things for you.
Did!
This form is used to talk about specific past actions, and often there is a time indicator such as yesterday, last week, a few months ago, in 1995, during my childhood, something like this which puts it in a specific time. Let's look at some examples. The company hired a new CEO last month. This is a single action in the past. You hire somebody one time, and we're using the past form of to hire, hired, and we have a time marker, last month. If there is a time marker, you have to use the did form. We finished the project on time and within budget. So here, the single past action they are talking about is finishing the project. And we have some more details. It was on time and within budget. But what we don't have is a time marker. But it's okay because from the context, we assume that whoever they are speaking to knows about the project and knows when the project happened.
Have done!
The have done form is also used to talk about an action in the past. But the key here is there is no specific time detail. You don't say when the thing happened. You also don't say how many times the thing has happened. For example, if I tell you, I have visited Thailand, I'm not telling you when, I'm not telling you how many times, I'm just telling you the fact that I have visited Thailand. Right now, in this conversation that we're having, it's not important when, it's not important how many times. I'm just telling you, yes or no, have I been or not? Yes, I have. I have visited Thailand. Yeah, it was a long time ago. Another way to help you think about the have done form is that it's when you're talking about an event or action that was in the past that has some relevance, some importance to what you're talking about now. For example, maybe my friends call me and say, where's my phone? For example, maybe my friends call me and say, hey Rob, do you want to come with us to watch the new Batman film at the cinema? And I would say, I have seen the new Batman film. I have already seen the Batman film, because I'm telling them about the past, but it's not important when. If they want, they could ask, when did you watch the new Batman film? And then I would tell them, and then I would use the did form, because then we're talking about a specific action in the past, and the time is important. And I'd say, yeah, I went last week with a friend from work. And they would say, oh, who's this friend from work? And I would get bored of the conversation and just hang up the phone. I hope you're not too confused. Let's look at some more examples. The company has implemented new policies to improve customer satisfaction. In this sentence, we've used has implemented because it's he, she, it, the company, has implemented, verb number 3, to implement, implemented, implemented, and we're talking about an action in the past, which really doesn't matter when in this conversation. What matters is that these policies have been implemented. It doesn't matter if they were implemented last week, last month, last year, 10 years ago. The relevant thing is just that the company has implemented these policies. And the connection with now, these policies now exist and we have to follow them. Or these policies now exist and this has what has brought greater customer satisfaction. We have worked on several projects together. Here, we're talking about not just one project, but several projects. So we can't be time specific. Okay, we could say, oh, we worked together on a project once in 2009, then again we worked on another project in 2012, our last project was last year, but that's really too long and it's unimportant. The only important detail that is relevant now is just that we have worked on other projects. That's all they want to communicate.
Interchangeable!
Sometimes it doesn't really matter if you use did or have done. For example, what about this question? Did you finish the report? Have you finished the report? There are some very slight differences between these two, but very slight, and in the end, both can work in this context. And one speaker might choose the did form, the other speaker might choose the have done form, or the same speaker might choose different ones at different times for something like this. Doesn't really matter in this context. What about this question? Did you have breakfast? Have you had breakfast? Both are asking about today, this morning. So did you have breakfast? You know, we know the time because you have breakfast in the morning, so the time is implied there. Have you had breakfast? It would be strange to answer it, yeah, of course I've had breakfast. I have breakfast most days. Who has never had breakfast? Yeah, of course I've had so many breakfasts. Nobody would answer that question like this because from the context, it's just assumed that they're talking about this morning. So did and have done are tricky concepts. I hope this video has helped, but I know that it's not going to fix it in your head just like that. Here is a tip. One way you can study this more is to find a TV show or a movie that you like. Don't watch the whole thing. Just watch a small bit and notice when they use the did form and when they use the have done form. Maybe go look at the subtitles or the transcript and look at why. Look back at the rules that I've set out in this video and see if you can work out why they chose the did form, why they chose the have done form, and think if they used the other form, would the meaning be different? Would it feel strange or awkward? And just becoming familiar with this, thinking about it consciously, will help you better to be able to use it unconsciously when you're speaking English at work or with your friends or wherever. Okay, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below and don't forget to like, follow for more business English tips. See you next time.